Hello, a very good evening to you out there. How is the security situation in your area? I ask because tonight, security or insecurity is on the front burner, from the presidency to the National Assembly, the services and even religious organizations. Everybody is talking about security. And the Powerlifting World Cup is here with us. And already Nigeria is hauling in the medals. We have the latest. And as usual, we have stories that bring out the humanity in Nigerians and efforts by government to uplift the lives of the underprivileged. Business is always on our menu, and today is no different as we delve into the corporate world to tell you what's going on. This and more is today's menu on the program that brings you the news with that extra touch. Today's package, I can assure you, is sizzling, but I will let you decide for yourself, that the taste of the pudding is in the eating. I am Fatima Umabuba, and this is News Extra. You're welcome. We begin with FEC. About 60 billion naira is to be expended by the federal government towards enhancing the provision of roads infrastructure and bridges in parts of the country. The nation's education sector also received a boost with the approval of nearly 10 billion naira for the enhancement of teaching and learning, as well as security of the environment. These were part of the resolutions of the Federal Executive Council presided over by President Muhammadu Buhari, and State House correspondent Adamu Sambu has the details.
The Federal Executive Council meeting, which lasted over 8 hours, was the second in the year 2020. Provision of critical roads and bridges once again dominated discussions as the government sustained efforts at addressing the huge infrastructure deficit. Consequently, over 6.9 billion naira has been approved for the construction of Jalingo, Kona, Lau, Karim Lamido Road, Phase 2 in Taraba State, as well as 50.5 billion naira for the dualization of the outstanding portion of Dukani, Itu, Ikot Ekpene Road, linking Cross River and Akwa Ibom states.
In December last year, there was a report on social media regarding a bridge in Ajakuta. The bridge was showing an opening at the expansion joint, which caused a lot of talk around the country. We took it up today.
And in that regard, the council approved over 1.5 billion naira towards addressing the situation.
It was just the time for maintaining the expansion joint. And it's a specialist work, which we deploy the contractors, and they are already working there. The third memo is the rehabilitation of the outstanding section of Iseyin Okeho Road, including 2 bridges in Oyo State in the sum of 6,875 million.
Education Minister Adamu on his part secured the council's approval for the procurement of textbooks for early childhood care and development for primaries 1 to 3 across the country at 6.4 billion naira.
Second memo is for the construction of a 23.7 kilometer perimeter fence around the University of Maiduguri. And it will do so at the amount of 1,398,250,000 naira 27 kobo.
1.08 billion naira is also to be spent on the procurement and installation of security equipment around the fence. Meanwhile, during the meeting, ministers of Niger Delta Affairs and the FCT were put to task on the deliverables of their next level mandate areas in the first 100 days.
The moment we are at the verge of concluding the due process to commence the forensic audit of the Niger Delta Development Commission. At the end of this exercise, the federal government hopes to have a bankable NDDC where the balance sheet could go to the bank and be accepted, and could bring value in terms of industrialization to the region. And at the same time, we also hope to complete the over 9,000 projects that are lying fallow at the moment in the Niger Delta region for the benefit of the people. That will not only add value to the system, but will also ensure that the post-Amnesty era will bring about industrialization and also create job opportunities for the people.
We are able to shed more light on the assignment of creation of 5,000 affordable housing units to the Federal Capital Territory. This has gone a long way already because we have ensured, we have deliberated, we have profiled investors already, and we have been able to secure land and made provision of adequate land for the provision of these 5,000 housing units. Also in compliance with Mr. President's provision of 100 million jobs for Nigerian citizens. We are also looking at an area of tourism and recreation within the Federal Capital Territory. This takes us to the beautiful Jabi Lake.
Efforts at enhancing education, healthcare delivery, and environmental sanitation in the FCT were also brought to the fore. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Thank you, Adamu. Now, Nigeria-U.S. relations has seen its ups and downs in the recent past. The visa suspension saga is still pending, and well, there is something new on the table. This time around, the U.S. has unveiled plans to continue supporting Nigeria in peace building, security, economic development, and the anti-corruption war. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo announced this when the Minister of Foreign Affairs visited him. He said the Trump administration believes in the efforts of President Buhari to make Nigeria great, promising a new $40 million support to address humanitarian crisis caused by insurgency. Usman Ali reports from Washington, D.C.
Striking a diplomatic tone, the talks between U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo and Nigeria's Foreign Affairs Minister Jeffrey Onyema is said to be gratifying.
But I'm pleased to announce today an additional $40 million in humanitarian assistance to Nigeria, adding to the nearly $350 million that we provided last year.
Nigeria, being the second largest America's trading partner in Africa, addresses U.S. concerns to keep the economic and security ties more stronger.
We also want to export a lot more, developing our manufacturing and industrial base. And of course, the U.S. market is a very attractive market for us.
The United States and Nigeria voiced hope that the visa rule would soon be over, just as Secretary Pompeo explained that the action on Nigeria was out of the terrorism threat, but acknowledged prompt response by President Buhari, which put in place a system that will make data from Nigerian passport readily available to the Interpol and global law enforcement body.
I'm optimistic that's going to happen. In the proclamation, President Trump highlighted Nigeria's importance as a strategic partner in the global fight against terrorism and recognized the government's commitment to improving information sharing with us.
And we thank again the United States for it. The sums of money that was restituted to Nigeria with the bailiwick, it's called, of Jersey, and the United States, $321 million. We appreciate the effort and steps that have been taken in, accessing these stolen funds.
The turn to support Nigeria explains that the United States Imperial Authority believes in the Buhari's administration legacy tripod on security, economy, and fighting corruption. In Washington, D.C., Usman Aliyu, NTA News.
Good news there from Washington, D.C. And back home, Vice President Yemi Osinbajo has expressed worries over what he described as the deafening silence of intellectual elite on discourse bordering on national unity and development. The Vice President, during a courtesy visit by the Executive Council of the Alumni Association of the National Institute for Policy and Strategic Studies, was emphatic on the contributions of the intellectual elite on issues of national development. And State House correspondent Judy Onifade reports.
The Vice President said the advice of the elite is golden and can be shining light to leading the nation in the way it should go. As Vice President Yemi Osinbajo noted, leaving the space when debate on national unity is on, but those who have a stake in ensuring that the country is united may not spell good for the nation. The Vice President said the Buhari administration is doing everything humanly possible to address the challenge of poverty, insecurity, and all other challenges facing the nation. The Alumni Association, led by its president and former Inspector General of Police, Mohammed Diko Abubakar, commends the federal government on the progress the nation is making and that of the institute.
We're talking about national unity. Unity of this country is very important for us, and I think Nigerians should unite and become one, and that's the best thing we can do for now in view of all these challenges that we have in this country.
Mohammed Diko Abubakar appeals for extra slot for female participation at the institute. In the State House, Jude Onifade, NT News.
In the meantime, Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed says the proposed federal government loan of $22.8 billion will provide the much-needed impetus to deliver on the nation's infrastructure development. The minister was speaking at the public hearing by the Senate Committee on Local and Foreign Debt on the matter. National Assembly correspondent Vivian Idekpefo reports.
The Federal Ministry of Information and Culture is seeking $500 million out of the $22.8 billion federal government proposed loan for critical infrastructure to meet the next ITU deadline. $245 million is earmarked for the establishment of a media and culture center, while the digitization of all NTA network centers will be done at the proposed cost of $11 million under this arrangement.
This $500 million we're asking for is actually to improve our creative industry. The ITU in 2006 gave the deadline of June 17, 2015 for all members of the organization to migrate from analog to digital.
The minister explained that the federal government is disposed to this loan because of its inherent advantages as against commercial loans.
Business model proposed for this initiative would always succeed with a concessional loan and not commercial ones, due to the low interest rates and long repayment period. The choice of concessional loan is also due to the fact that its terms are much more favorable to the project at hand.
He also spoke on the advantages that the loan and the projects to be executed with it confer on Nigeria.
When this project is approved, then there will be more visibility for our people in the music industry, in the fashion industry, in the film industry. If we don't migrate from analog to digital, then it means that in a few years' time, it will not be possible for you to even see NTA anywhere. That's why it's very crucial. And when you look at the number of stations NTA has, compared to other private stations, you find that 70% of Nigerians rely on NTA for their news, especially those in rural areas. This is why this project is very, very crucial to us. It's about job creation, it's about employment, and it's about revenue generation for the nation.
From the National Assembly, Vivian Idekpefo, NTA News.
And since the National Assembly reconvened after its New Year and Christmas recess, the legislators have spent most of their time considering security issues, which culminated in the invitation of the Inspector General of Police last week. The visit of the police boss to the Senate chamber at Wednesday's plenary is part of consultations by the Senate towards supporting community policing, and National Assembly correspondent Ignatius Nkwo reports.
Shortly after the Senate reconvened for Wednesday's plenary, it dissolved into a closed-door session, the second for the week. This followed a motion by the leader of the Senate, Abdullahi Yahaya, for the Senate to usher in the Inspector General of Police into the chamber and to go into an executive session with the police boss, as it is the practice when meeting security chiefs. 4 hours later, the closed-door session ends.
General of Police, IGP, on security challenges in the country and the concept and practical implementation and modalities of community policing policy. Thereafter, he answered questions bordering on national security challenges. The Senate thereafter resolved to support the Nigerian police through legislative interventions. The police force was further encouraged to be more proactive operationally to protect the lives and properties of our citizens.
The concept is to give policing back to the community, let the community take the initiative in identifying the problems that are there that can lead to the commission of crime, and then we'll work with the community to solve the crime.
The communal clash that took place in Basa local government area of Kogi State between 2016 and 2019 came to the fore as Senate urged the Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs and Disaster Management to assist in the rehabilitation of internally displaced persons in the area as moved by Senator Issa Jibrin.
We regret that the number of out-of-school children in the affected communities is disheartening, and this poses a serious danger to the future of the children, the communities, and the nation in general.
Well, shortly after the Inspector General of Police left the chamber, the Senate confirmed the appointment of the chairman and members of the National Assembly Service Commission. The nominee from Imo State, Nnamdi Anyehe, is to be replaced by another person. It also confirmed the appointment of Professor Diolu Akonde as chairman of the Nigerian Communications Commission and Uche Omude as member. From the National Assembly, Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Well, thank you so much, Ignatius. Now, upon resumption of the plenary in 2020, the first national issue of discourse on the floor of the House of Representatives was security, during which House members urged authorities to do more to tackle security breaches in parts of the country. As a follow-up, the House this Wednesday invited service chiefs for a meeting, and National Assembly correspondent Lami Ali reports that the meeting was held behind closed doors.
This is the second meeting in 5 months between the 9th House of Representatives and security chiefs to discuss the security situation in the country. The first meeting was held on the 23rd of September 2019. The meeting had the service chiefs in attendance, with Minister of Defense and Chief of Defense Staff represented. House Speaker Femi Gbajabiamila says the meeting is in response to concerns raised by constituents on the dimensions of security breaches in parts of Nigeria.
My opening remarks on the floor of the House when we came in on Tuesday, was to commend you guys, and particularly the ones that are on the front lines, sacrificing their lives every day, our men and women in uniform. There's funding, there's equipment, there's recruitment of personnel, but I'm sure there are other things that will not be said in full view of the cameras.
Chairman House Committee on Defense, Baba Jimmy Benson, briefed the media at the end of the meeting, which lasted several hours.
They raised a lot of issues that we must all sit down as Nigerians to discuss. One of it I can mention is there's probably an international dimension to what we see. There's ISIS, there's ISWAP. So those are things that we need to discuss in a very, very classified manner.
House plenary on Wednesday also went into closed door, at the end of which sitting was adjourned to Thursday as all items on the order paper were suspended. In the meantime, the House Ad Hoc Committee investigating alleged non-remittance of unspent budgeted funds says its engagement with security agencies will be held behind closed doors. From the National Assembly, Lami Ali, NTA News.
The Nigerian Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs has called on Nigerians to rally around the federal government to address insecurity in the country. The Director of Administration of the Council, Yusuf Chineduze Nwoha, gave this advice during an interactive session with the media on the security situation in the country.
Briefing by the Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs is coming on the heels of recent security breaches and comments by groups and individuals. The Director of Administration of the Council, Alhaji Yusuf Chineduze Nwoha, said rather than playing blame game at this period, faith-based organizations in the country should intensify prayers and admonish their faithful on the heels and consequences of indulging in terrorist acts, and also suggest ways of collectively fighting the menace.
Agents of destabilization
seek to score cheap political goals and engage in self-indicting propaganda. One of them is the recent organized street show by some religious leaders who give political coloration to grinding insecurity fueled by hypocrisy and hubris. We want to state in an unequivocal terms and for the opportune time that Boko Haram does not represent Islam or Muslims. The group and the enemies of Islam hiding behind its mask are pursuing a rogue, venal, and doggy agenda far removed from Islam.
The Supreme Council for Islamic Affairs Director of Administration urged all to provide government with intelligence to enable security agencies counter all forms of criminality. In Abuja, Abubakar Usman Akwanga, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Usman Akwanga. And now special operatives of Operation Puff Adder of the Nigeria Police, backed by the Special Forces of the Police Air Wing, in an offensive operation stormed one of the largest operational camps of the Ansaru terror group located in Kuduru Forest, Birnungwari, Kaduna State, and successfully neutralized over 250 high-profile members of the Ansari terror group. A statement by Force Public Relations Officer Frank Mba says the operation, which commenced in the early hours of today, was carried out by a combined team of operatives of Operation Puff Adder, made up of the Police Mobile Force, Counterterrorism Unit, and Special Forces, Intelligence Response Team, Special Tactical Squad, and Special Anti-Robbery Squad. The operation was necessitated by actionable intelligence linking terror and criminal elements in the super camp to a series of terror-related violence, kidnapping, gun running, cattle rustling, and other heinous crimes across the country. And now joining me in the studio is the First Public Relations Officer, is the Deputy Commissioner of Police, Frank Mba. It's good to have you on News Extra tonight.
Thank you, Fatima.
Yes, we have read the copy, we have seen what happened today, and we'll say kudos to you. Keep up the good job. But
thank you.
We heard that there was, a shootout, bringing down of helicopter, and also the pilot. So can you tell us, give us an update about that?
The truth remains that yes, indeed, there was a shootout. Mm-hmm. It was a massive operation. It was an offensive operation, a very audacious, bold, and courageous one, because that camp is one of the largest criminal camp being run by the Ansaru terror group and housing other very dangerous criminal elements, including bandits, gun runners, as well as kidnappers. And we don't expect to carry out such an operation without the criminal elements actually fighting back. And that's exactly what happened during that offensive mission. But the good thing is that we were able to overrun the camp. And I'm sure by tomorrow we'll be releasing more pictures and probably some videos that will show the camps being overrun by police operatives. And over 250 members of those high-profile terror elements were neutralized. Okay. They also shot at one of the police helicopters that was providing aerial surveillance as well as aerial cover for the ground troops.
How's the pilot now? Is he
the
okay?
Pilot sustained injury. Both the pilot and the co-pilot, both of them superintendents of police, very gallant and very professionally minded officers. They sustained injuries, but the beautiful thing is that they showed enormous courage, they showed enormous skill. They successfully and safely navigated the aircraft to a safe landing in Nigerian Air Force facility in Kaduna. They were also eventually evacuated, and currently they are being treated. They are in stable condition.
Okay, we'll say
the aircraft itself has also been successfully flown back to Abuja and is currently parked at the police air wing hangar.
Well, thank you so much for coming on News Extra tonight. I wish we'd continue, but because of time. Do you have anything to say, lastly, before we leave?
These operations are being carried out simultaneously in other parts of the country. As I speak to you, this night, 30 more Kidnapped victims were successfully rescued in Katsina, bringing it to a total of 56 persons that were rescued in the past 24 hours in Katsina.
Well, thank you so much. That's a good one. I must say, just keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Well, that was the Force Public Relations Officer, DCP Frank Mba. Now, more than 90 on board French naval ship Commandant Bollian will engage the Nigerian Navy personnel in military training. The flag officer commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Oladele Daji, gave the hint when he received the French Navy ship in Lagos. Ken Ehebule has the details.
The visit by the French Navy ship to Nigeria is part of its efforts to further boost bilateral relations with foreign navies, especially the Nigerian Navy. It was also to promote global best practices.
Just illustrates the improving cooperation between the French Navy and the Nigerian Navy. We share a lot of interest in the Gulf of Guinea, and we definitely would like to enhance our cooperations and energy inside this area.
During the visit, the French Navy ship would engage the Nigerian Navy in several activities. These include training onshore of naval operations, as well as passage at sea and joint patrol. All this, the flag officer, Western Naval Command, explained, would enhance operational efficiency of the Navy.
We will be able to pick up some of the best practices that they have and infuse into our own processes and procedures for enhanced operational efficiency of the Western Naval Command.
The visit by the French Navy ship is the second in 7 months in Lagos. Ken Igbeluge, NTA News.
And the Air Task Force of Operation Lafia Dole of the Nigerian Air Force has launched Operation Rattlesnake 3 against terrorist elements in the northeast of the country. A statement by the Director, Public Relations and Information of the Nigerian Air Force, Air Commodore Ibikule Daramola, says the air interdiction operation, which commenced on 4th of February 2020, is to target selected locations of action. On day 1 of the operation, the Nigerian Air Force says airstrikes by NAF attack aircraft resulted in the destruction of an Islamic State of West Africa province, ISWAP, hideout, as well as the neutralization of some of their fighters at Tongule in the Lake Chad area of northern Borno State. The airstrikes were executed following a series of intelligence, surveillance and reconnaissance missions, indicating that ISWAP fighters were harbored in some buildings at the northern edge of the settlement. Accordingly, the Air Task Force says it dispatched its fighter jets to engage the location, scoring accurate hits on the designated targets, leading to the destruction of the structures and the neutralization of some of the terrorists. The Nigerian Air Force notes that it is operating in concert with surface forces, which will sustain its air campaign to shape the battle space in the northeast for effective conduct of further ground and air operations. Well, if you think the Nigerian Air Force is all about bombs dropping and air power, let me tell you, you have missed the mark. I can tell you authoritatively that the Air Force has trained another set of medical officers for search and rescue towards providing robust medical services for its personnel involved in various operational and support duties. And Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikun tells us more.
The involvement of Nigerian Air Force in the fight against terrorism, banditry, and other national security challenges requires medical support for the personnel in the theater of operations. Flight Lieutenant Lazarus Kogi and Ogweri are among the 25 personnel of the Nigerian Air Force and 12 from sister services trained in the Phase 4 of the Aerial Patient Movement course to evacuate wounded Air Force personnel engaged in ground and air operations.
We are prepared, we are trained. It's late for us now to discharge what we are trained on in order to save life.
If we are faced with a situation where we need to evacuate casualties from theater of operations, we are willing and able, and we are ready to do so.
The training, in collaboration with the Security Corporation of the United States Department of Defense, Chief of the Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, in a message says, will enhance courage, dexterity, and resilience of the air personnel in the ongoing fight against criminality in various parts of the country.
The medical, its participation in a theater of war did not only reassure the troops, but it boosts their morale that should, in case anything happens to them, there are people that will take good care of them.
Everything they've displayed has been great. They've been hardworking, they've been smart, they've been well equipped, and we've trained them as best as we can.
NAV Authority is confident in the ability of the personnel to meet local and international medicine and aerial movement needed in the service. In Kaduna, I am Suleiman Abdullahi Rigachikung, NTA News.
Oh, thank you so much, Abdullahi Suleiman. Now from security to sports. And we all know that it has been, a huge medal haul for Nigeria at the ongoing Powerlifting World Cup. Now let's join Badi Adele live at the International Conference Center for an update. Badi, it's good to see you, and can you just give us an insight of what is happening now?
All right, it's been an action-packed day here at the International Conference Center in Abuja, venue of the...
Well, it's like we're having issues with the connection because of the network and all of that. Maybe we would rejoin Badi Adele in the course of the bulletin. Now, that was just the first, slice of the pudding. When we return, we will tell you about the 7,000 women and youths in Rivers State, still smiling since yesterday. We'll also retell you, about an old story, man's donkey business with the donkey.
As you know, kids' exam time is exam time for moms too. The child prepares intensely, so does the mom, taking care of every little thing. But germs can ruin it all. What if he falls ill on his exam day?
Every single day is important for kids. That's why they need Dettol soap. It protects from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday protection, everyday Dettol.
65 grams, now 150 naira.
The Chief of the Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Baba Abubakar, is pleased to invite the general public to the induction ceremony of 2 Augusta 109 Power Helicopter and an Mi-171E compact helicopter taking place at the Eagle Square, Abuja on Thursday, 6th of February 2020 by 10 a.m. The President, Commander-in-Chief of the Armed Forces, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Muhammadu Buhari, GCFR, will be the guest of honor at the occasion. Nigerian Air Force, willing, able, ready.
The National Examinations Council, NECO, wishes to inform the general public that registration for the 2020 National Common Entrance Examination for admission into federal government unity colleges has commenced. Eligibility: final year pupils in primary schools who are not less than 10 years by September 2020. Registration fee is 2,500 naira per candidate. Payments are made into NECO Treasury Single Account. Registration for examination is done on the NECO website, www.neco.gov.ng. Closing date is 20th March 2020. Examination date is 28 March 2020. For further information, please visit the website or any NECO state office nearest to you. Abubakar M. Ghana, announcer.
This is beautiful.
Quality is vital. Quality is Vitafoam.
Hello, honey.
Hey, baby.
Wow. Those guys are good in bed.
What?
Yes, we're good in bed. Hurry now to any Vitafoam accredited dealer nationwide or visit us online on www.vitafoamng.com to place your order today. Vitafoam, the fine art of living.
The Industrial Training Fund, ITF, in collaboration with the Federal Ministry of Industry, Trade and Investment, cordially invites the general public to the official closing ceremony of the National Industrial Skills Development Program. Special guest of honor, Boss Mustafa, Secretary to the Government of the Federation. Distinguished guests, Otumba Richard Adeniyi Adebayo, Honorable Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Alhaji Muhammad Musa Bello, the Honorable Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Ambassador Miriam Batagum, the Minister of State for Industry, Trade and Investment. Chief Host, Sir Joseph Ari, Director General, Industrial Training Fund. Date, Monday, 10th February 2020. Venue, Shehu Musa Yero Adwa Center, Abuja. Time, 10 a.m. Invited guests are to be seated by 9:30 a.m. ITF, developing the nation's human resource. Announcer, Management.
When I was a little girl, I loved spending time with Mum and Grandma cleaning the house. I was so excited to sing in the choir. And your shirts are always so white. I knew what Mum's secret was. Today, I'm a modern woman that still trusts the secrets passed down to me. It's Jik, of course. The original trusted bleach, which can be used all around your house for amazing results. Shh, it's a little secret. It's no secret. It's Jik's best ever extra whitening power. Just Jik it.
This year, the weather conditions Harmattan in Nigeria is harsh, with temperature dropping very low in some parts of the country. Many underprivileged children are exposed to these harsh weather conditions, putting them at risk to all sorts of respiratory infections with devastating consequences. We request well-meaning Nigerians to kindly donate warm clothing, blankets, beverages, soap, moisturizers, and other essential items for the benefit of these children. Get involved to support displaced and underprivileged children exposed to these harsh weather conditions. Powered by Aisha Buhari Foundation.
Well, good to have you back on News Extra. Now, earlier we lost Badi Adile's signal, but let's now rejoin him live at the International Conference Center for an update. So, Badi, it's over to you.
Thanks so much, Fatih. Like I was saying all the time, Nigeria were winning gold, and it's 8 for Nigeria now, and 4 out of 5 world records, have been broken by, Nigerian athletes, and 18 countries are participating with only 5 on the medal table for now, and we've got Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, Egypt, and Brazil. I'm here with the national coach, national powerlifting coach, in person of Patience Igbiti, who is going to be telling us more. How will you describe day 1 of this championship?
It was a great day for Nigeria, because starting, we have already got a gold world record, both from senior and junior. So I know by tomorrow it's going to be another dimension of this game.
A quick one here. As a coach, how do you with?
Well, I know it's a very interesting one. How I wish we could get the signal to work, but it's okay. We might go back to him much later. Now, in a bid to raise the standard of living of victims of insurgency in the Northeast, the Victim Support Fund has begun the distribution of 3,600 livestock to insurgency-affected states of Adamawa, Borno and Yobe. Abdullahi Ayubadelwa reports that 5 affected communities in Maiha local government area of Adamawa State have benefited from the gesture.
Victim Support Fund has commenced the distribution of 3,600 goats to victims of insurgency in Maiha local government of Adamawa, Fika and Pataskum in Yobe, as well as Koyakusara in Borno State, with the view to improving livestock production in the affected areas. So far, out of 1,300 households targeted victims of insurgency in 5 affected communities in Maiha local government area, 300 have benefited, while the remaining one will be taken care of later.
I was very happy
with the Victim Support Fund, whereby assisting me in my life. They have produced what I have never expected.
We that are given this thing, we use it, in fact, to help others, not only we.
The VSF says it will continue to support the victims of insurgency in the affected states to enable them boost their economy.
We are hoping that with this support, a lot of indigent families will have soccer.
We are active across the state in the areas of education, livelihood, and foster care, protection of our children.
In Yola, Abdullahi Ayubadalwa, NTA News.
Okay, thank you so much, Abdullahi. Now, the presidency has reacted to allegations by the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, about the payment or non-payment of a ransom for the release of the Chibok and Dapchi schoolgirls. A statement by the special advisor to the president on media and publicity, Femi Adesina, notes that when the media in August 2018 quoted a United Nations report alleging the federal government paid a huge ransom for the release of the abducted Dapchi schoolgirls on March 21, 2018, the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, immediately disputed the report, insisting that no ransom was paid. The presidency urges CAN to desist from this information, which can further divide Nigerians, reiterating that the letter and spirit of the Holy Bible does not support discord, which CAN's allegations are liable to cause. The statement adds that President Muhammadu Buhari made it very clear in 2015 that if ransom needed to be paid to free the Chibok schoolgirls, he would pay, which is a testament to his commitment to get the girls back. Hence, the Christian body need not be antagonistic to every attempt by the administration to move Nigeria forward before it can champion or defend the Christian faith. The next story, sweet my belly, as we say here in our local parlance, because it's about taking some people to the next level of economic independence. The National Directorate of Employment, NDE, has commenced the disbursement of 10,000 naira non-interest business loan facility to 7,150 women and youths in Rivers State. Minister of Transportation Chibuike Amechi and his labor and employment counterpart Festus Kiyamo say the program, which targets the micro business operators, is part of the federal government's plan to lift 10 million Nigerians annually out of poverty. And Kingsley Amajiri reports.
The beneficiaries are drawn from the various wards across the 23 local government areas of Rivers State. Each of them is expected to invest the fund in micro business and grow same to prosperity. The target of the government through this scheme is to provide a lifeline for the poorest of the poor in the society.
With 10,000, somebody can start something.
We look for something better to do, make sure we start up a small trade business for the meantime.
It is a very big thing. At least the women will start something, the men will start something.
Mr. President is doing excellently. Issue of taking 100 million Nigerians out of poverty in 10 years is a reality. Our target in each and every state from Miss alone is 25,000.
Minister of Transportation and the Minister of State, Labor and Employment, we are delighted that President Buhari's administration is prioritizing development, targeting the lowest cadre of business operators towards self-employment.
We are giving out these loans to people to start off macro, small and medium enterprises.
750 million naira. 10,000 naira, you can fry akara. You can start something in the market.
You don't need all the amount of money in the world to start a small business. There is a monitoring committee that will monitor the progress and how they've been able to put the fund that has been given to them into use.
Besides this women and youth business loan facility, the NDE also disclosed that it has vocational skills, rural employment promotion, and small-scale enterprises programs, calling on the public to take advantage of the schemes. In Port Harcourt, Kingsley Amajiri, NTA News.
The Presidential Amnesty Program is in its last phase, which is the reintegration of beneficiaries to enable them make meaning of their lives and also contribute to national development. Special Assistant to the President on Niger Delta and Coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Professor Charles Dokubo, acknowledged this while announcing plans of the Amnesty Program for 2020 at a forum in Lagos. Joy Ken Akpagpoya reports.
Of the Niger Delta have enjoyed some level of development that has brought about peace in that region, thanks to the federal government intervention program initiated in 2009. The Presidential Amnesty Program has empowered a good number of youths and is still doing so through formal and vocational training, which has received a lot of commendations from various quarters. It is these positive strides that one of its technical partners recognized and is celebrating. Special Advisor to the President on Niger Delta and Coordinator of the Presidential Amnesty Program, Professor Charles Dokubo, who was honored at the forum, announced that the program has more people on the list to be empowered.
No, we've gotten more than 3,000 people that have been trained since I took over office.
Okay.
And then we have a job placement office that also look for jobs for them and place them. The issue is that government cannot provide everything. What government does is to create an enabling environment from which people can even fit into and key into and get something.
There's nobody will say Amnesty office is not trying. Every year, every project that we do in 1 year, we employ close to 2,000 workers.
It is expected that beneficiaries of the Presidential Amnesty Program will put the knowledge acquired from the training to better the lot of their communities and development of the country in general. In Lagos, Joy Ken Akpagpoya, NTA News. Joy.
Being given a ladder to climb a tree brings the fruits within reach, isn't it? Well, this describes the leg up that non-formal education confers on those who may have somehow missed out on formal education. And Elizabeth Omori reports that stakeholders in the subsector are also receiving a helping hand from non-governmental agencies.
Ramat Yakubu is a smoothie maker who has not had the opportunity to learn in a classroom to acquire formal education. Though satisfied but not fulfilled, the smoothie maker knows something is not quite smooth enough in her education.
You know, good make a woman sit down for one man, make a man they suffer, do everything. You make a join hand together. Now make a enter this business now they do.
It's encouraging seeing Ramat contribute her quota to the economy, but she has a dream. What is her dream? To go to school.
To help Ramat and others in her category necessitated this capacity building workshop for non-governmental organizations to brainstorm and come up with effective and adoptable strategies to promote literacy and lifelong learning activities to achieve the SDG 4.
It's a bridge to alleviate poverty. And so this is why this capacity building has become very, very necessary.
We discovered a lot of women were willing, to come out and be educated. But then the structures were not there. So now that government has us as a partner and they are willing to work with us, and especially the development partners like UNESCO, we are very, very sure that, we can touch the lives of so many girls.
A data by UNESCO shows that Nigeria has about 10.5 million out-of-school children, of which 60% are girls. This figure presents a bag full of worry in the education subsector, which experts believe must be significantly reduced before the year 2030 through the complementary efforts of non-governmental organizations and development partners with keen interest on non-formal education.
We also have our GPE programs that are going on in the Northeast, and some of which will be also coming on stream soon to ensure that our children go back into the classrooms.
A mini adult literacy class, but with this I will have a better idea on how to go about it, and it will help to increase the number of literate persons in our society.
At the end of the two-day workshop, the facilitators are expected to come up with a comprehensive workable plan on how to facilitate learning in the grassroots to meet the needs of non-formal learners like Ramat, if you like, smoothing the path for the smoothie maker. In Abuja, Elizabeth Omori, NTA News.
I can see Elizabeth enjoying herself with the smoothie there. Now, recently, some university students and their parents expressed grievances over the payment of what they call high acceptance fee to universities. Upon this, NTA News reached out to the Executive Secretary of the National Universities Commission, Professor Rashid Abubakar, who puts the issue into perspective.
Recently, the National Assembly, in its wisdom, resolved to request universities, public or federal-owned, government-owned universities to stop charging these fees. The universities on their own complain that the overhead is nothing close to meeting their major challenges of day-to-day running of the universities. Or the best thing for the universities is to obey the resolution of the National Assembly, stop it, and then in our retreat we shall discuss all these issues.
Investigations by NTA shows that some universities charge as much as 30,000 to 40,000 naira as acceptance fee. Professor Rashid also spoke on the issue of the enrollment of university staff into IPPIS.
Working to resolve this issue, I am aware that almost all the non-teaching staff have registered, and most of the teaching staff have not registered, and they have stated their cases.
In both cases, the NUC Executive Secretary urged all parties to embrace dialogue to resolve their differences. Now, donkey remains one of man's reliable friends from time immemorial. Its service to humanity should have been a mutually beneficial one, but man has continued to fail in showing love and care. Abdullahi Muhammad tries to measure the donkey's commitment and the need for man to live up to expectation.
A beast of burden, as it is called, sends the right peg to the right hole here. The size of the load, no distance doesn't count as far as the donkey is concerned. Its resilience can only be contested by the camel. Its loyalty to man is far beyond that of a slave and a master. A short stick and a unique sound gives absolute control of the donkeys to one man. And keeping them on the straight path, even with enticing grace, comes on a platter of gold. The relationship between Lowell and his donkeys can be described as that of a lifetime and a lifeline. Meeting his family needs is tied to what the donkeys earn daily from the heap of firewood they transport.
Alhamdulillah. We have 17 children, and this is what provides sustenance for us.
I usually buy them a measure or two of grains daily.
But on the flip side of these, an ugly scenario unfolds. Donkey parts becoming hotcakes in black markets across the world. In some part of Nigeria, it is sold for the abattoirs. These amasses a global condemnation.
And that is why we think we need to see a region-wide action from ECOWAS to stop the trade going through its borders all over the place, so not just here in Nigeria.
In Kaduna State, a law has been passed to stem the trade, transport and slaughter of donkeys, but this is not fully enforced. The global community is coming to terms with the need to take action in saving the donkey species. And millions of people across the world whose livelihood depends on the unique strength of the donkey, like Lowell, will have hope. And for me, I'll take a ride on the donkey for leisure, but with love and care. In Kaduna, Abdullah Muhammad, NTA News.
Well, really, Abdullahi, donkeys need to be shown love and care. We've been together for quite a long time, exactly. Well, exactly 19 days from now, the clouds will open up in the southern parts of Nigeria and the rains will set in. Yes, That is what NIMET tells us. Merciful enough, we still have some sunny days. Well, Mayor Ogidi was, however, privy to a meeting by the Nigerian Hydrological Services Agency on how best to spend the remaining days of the dry season.
Sights of destruction and voices of pain give flood deep sense of fulfillment, and this is on annual basis. For 2020, the Nigerian Meteorological Agency NIMET has gone ahead of the ordinary man in predicting the future in the aviation and hydrological fields. Rain may start early in the south and 22nd of June in the north, while cessation is expected September and December respectively. So, just few weeks left for preparations to avoid urban flooding in this year, and the Nigeria Hydrological Agency NISA is sending an advance notice.
Various levels of government in Nigeria should begin to prepare for possible flooding for 2020. Open up the drainages or create drainage paths where there are none. Remove structures that are within the flood plains, and let there be adequate sensitization program now that the rains are not setting.
That is for urban flooding. So, what is the way forward for river flooding in Nigeria?
We expect that the more dams we have in Nigeria, the more it will be easy to control flooding.
The longer rainfall period predicted by NIMET for the year 2020 is not a cast in stone for now that the flood period will be disastrous, because probably towards the end of March this year, the Nigeria Hydrological Services Agency will going to give its own seasonal flood outlook, and some situation report about the flood for the year 2020 will be made public at that event. Mayor Ogidi, NTA News.
Thank you so much, Mayor, for the situation report. Now, nuclear disarmament, war against terrorism, and poverty eradication, among others, are familiar measures adopted by governments the world over for the enthronement of peace and security. However, a more basic approach is being deliberated upon by peace ambassadors at the ongoing World Summit of the Universal Peace Federation in Seoul, South Korea. Becky Madujemo is there. Now, Peace Ambassador Becky, what's going on there?
This sea of heads is made up of past and 7 heads of government, parliamentarians, politicians, technocrats, religious leaders, and peace ambassadors from more than 170 countries of the world. Sensitive lines of religion and racial divides were deliberately crossed this year, as the peacemakers are focusing on realistic possibilities of achieving global harmony through interdependence, mutual prosperity, and universal values. If these 3 tactics are adopted, co-founder of the Universal Peace Federation, Hakjaran Moon, believes that the yet elusive quest for world peace will be achieved. She, however, emphasized that it must begin from the smallest unit of society, the family.
Despite the coronavirus spreading around the world, so many leaders are here. Instead, we are all committed to peace, harmony, and prosperity.
The peaceful family unit entrenched in strong bonds of instinct, ethics, and a well-established tradition of honor will fight insecurity and terrorism better than any weapon.
And as a symbolic move to display willingness to lead adherents down the route to peace without recourse to personal beliefs, religious leaders present filled a chalice in a highly applauded ceremony known as Interfaith Water Declaration. Some former heads of government, including Nigeria's Olusegun Obasanjo, were recognized for their untiring efforts in conflict resolution across the world. A moment was spared for the founder of UPF, Sun Myung Moon, whose 100 years birthday was marked posthumously. In
Seoul, South Korea, Becky Madujemo. NTA News.
You're watching a News Extra on the NTA. We'll take a short break. Still to come, we'll go some night shopping in Abuja with an intrepid report, plus a sweet-tasting tomato story from Akure.
Son, being good at something requires strength. It requires putting in more. That's why the new improved Bonvita is packed with vitality and a richer, creamier taste.
You can choose to manage everything else, but not your data. Get more out of life with the new Airtel data plans. Dial *141# today. Data is life.
Airtel, the smartphone network. No perfect family may be under threat by germs. Germs can cause infectious diseases like diarrhea, typhoid, and flu. These infectious diseases are amongst the biggest killers of adults and children. In Nigeria, tens of thousands of children under the age of 5 have died due to diarrhea caused by germs. These illness-causing germs are everywhere. Dirty surfaces, on cuts and wounds, on your clothes, in unclean bathing water. To protect your family from germs, use the power of Dettol's 1 capful. For surface cleaning, for first aid, for your laundry, in your bathing water, and to protect your family from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Introducing Dettol with aloe vera. Soothing aloe vera, the power of Dettol, which is soft on skin and hard on germs. Be Dettol Sure.
Like a bird needs wings to fly, you need skills to be productive. No matter the level of your education, ITF can train you to acquire skills in areas like mechatronics, metal machining, facility technology, electronics and computer networking, information and communication technology, ICT, culinary art, and agriculture. Acquire a skill and transform yourself from being unemployed to becoming even an employer. Be a valuable Nigerian youth. Say no to unemployment and poverty.
I'll spread my wings and fly so high. I'll reach for the stars, yeah, it's time.
Industrial Training Fund, developing the nation's human resource.
Maybe say now today or 4 days when my girls won't come visit and I need to go expire.
Oh, my guys, they can't follow me watch this match. I must not fold the hand.
Babe, what's happening now? Sorry to disappoint you, but my subscription don't expire.
The match is not on my GoTV package.
Now your holla be that. I beg, give me your phone. I show you how you go take do it for my GoTV app for your phone.
Life is so much easier with my GoTV app. Make payments, clear error messages, change your package. You can also check your due dates and keep abreast of your payment history.
And with the corner, Matip is there.
The new My GoTV app is everything you need in one place. So what are you waiting for? Download My GoTV app now from Google Play or App Store to enjoy the easy life. GoTV. Live it, love it.
Welcome back to News Extra. System Specs, a leading provider of innovative software financial technology and a human capital management solutions company, has unveiled its new corporate identity logo and a new product PayLink by Remita. Ruth Ariosamo reports that aside the launch of the new products, the corporate headquarters of the company was also inaugurated.
The unveiling of
of new products and commissioning of Corporate System Specs headquarters was performed by the General Overseer, Foursquare Gospel Church, Reverend Sam Aboyeji. The three-story building, which is designed and fully equipped with modern office facilities, including Vistas Lounge, Boardroom, and Departure Lounge, is located at Yesufu Abiodun Oniru Estate, Victoria Island in Lagos State.
They are not just looking at the next century, they are looking at the next millennium. And I agree with them.
Chairman, Board of Directors, System Specs, Dr. Christopher Kolade, is optimistic of brighter future for the company.
We have not stopped innovating in this market, and therefore you can be sure that not just for Africa, but indeed for the world.
The Managing Director, System Specs, John Obaro, highlighted some of the benefits of the new products, adding that the idea is to reposition the company's brand to fully maximize its endless potential.
You don't need to give people your account number again, whether they want to use USSD, they want to pay cash through a bank or an agent, or they want to use their debit card, whatever means is convenient for them. We've made it easy for you to be able to collect funds.
The focus of the management is on human capital management solutions and charting a new and strategic direction for a greater future for the company in Nigeria and Africa at large. In Lagos, Ruth Ariel Samuel, NTA News.
And now to another interesting business story. In recent times, shopping in Abuja is beginning to get to a different dimension with the emergence of night markets. Let's join Oyena Kalu Oka as she explores these markets, trying to unravel the myth behind buying and selling at night.
Abuja at night is calm and peaceful, less noise, less vehicular movements. Well, I guess you're wondering what I'm doing out here at the time of the day. I'm getting set to go to the night market. Well, there is a myth that night markets in Africa are usually with the spirits and humans. Whether that myth is true or not, why don't you join me as we explore the Abuja night market. From a distance, one will notice the tiny flicks of lights. Getting closer, the picture becomes clearer. Beckoning for customers, haggling of price, serious trading is taking place here. It is a night market. Night markets are springing up in Abuja in different available spaces. The crew visited 3 of such markets. First port of call by 9:45 p.m. was the Area 1 shopping complex open-air markets. Array of locally grilled meats, popularly known as kilishi and suya, stare one in the face.
We did plenty. We go reach like 50 people in sell kilishi. Many customers, they come back from the office, they come by.
Night market is very interesting and profitable.
Although this market at Area 1 opens during the day, activities at night is at its peak. From 5 p.m. till 12 midnight, the place bubbles with buying and selling at the makeshift shops with different goods.
Some people have a time for now compared with daytime.
Most of the times I'm a night scroller, so I really enjoy coming out at night. The night market is kind of a blessing.
Interesting scenario at the Gerkitsu night markets, occupying major streets, roadside and displaying mostly perishable products. These markets operate throughout the day. As residents say, they are getting familiar with it.
Just doing our business, everything is moving majestically. We are selling in the night, not like in the afternoon.
And for residents living in communities in Nasarawa State and working in Abuja, the busy AYA night market is a saving grace to them. Sited along their routes, which operate from 5 p.m. to 12 midnight, has made shopping convenient, especially with heavy gridlock.
Yeah, my itinerary, I have to come back late and I have to get 1 or 2 things. I need to take care of myself, because I know if I reach down to the environment where I am, I cannot get what I want. So it's of help, very, very important.
We train our kids in school from night market proceeds. Despite attempts of the Abuja Environmental Protection Board to curb this trend, night trading in the city has continued to grow.
While we are managing, they are still disturbing our life.
We need a place, yes, because I'm tired of this night only.
And we have not yet now sought for
introducing night markets, but more markets are going to be open because we know the urge of our people to trade, which is a very, very good thing to do.
From window shopping, haggling of price, and socialization, the night market is not all about buying and selling. It goes beyond that. In the night market, you meet new people, you relax, just as I've met a new friend, Malam Aminu.
Yes.
Malam Aminu, so how is this night market?
This night market is very nice. You can see many people. You can enjoy small doing good. After you can go and sleep and rest.
Night markets in Abuja, after all, is all about human interaction. And so the myth about trading with the evil spirit was never experienced. Oyinaya Kalu Oka, NTN News.
Really, really interesting, Oyinaya Kalu Oka. I can see you enjoyed your cup of tea. Well, that's good. Now, it is unique because of its exercise. It is fresh and disease-free with high nutritional values. A research output, the new hybrid tomato is released to add to the effort at ensuring food sufficiency in Nigeria. You want to know more about these high-yielding tomatoes compared to the conventional ones, right? Now, let's join Doris Olumuku.
Over the years, one of the major goals of tomato breeders is to come up with research output capable of increasing yield and nutritional values in tomatoes. This is imperative because the demand for both fresh tomato and tomato products is all year round, even though the differences in pattern of rainfall restricts its production to seasonal. The new variety of tomatoes, named the round-shaped Top 2212, is a product of the Julius Okoje Central Research Laboratory of the Federal University of Technology, Akure, Futa, which was cultivated in the greenhouse under a controlled environment and free from pest attack. This Futa's greenhouse is targeted at ensuring food security in Nigeria and Ondo State in particular. This is bearing in mind the fact that cultivable lands are dwindling due to urbanization, industrialization, and growth in population.
We need a sort of crops that can produce within a within a limited area that will produce enough. These days, we are going to a knowledge-driven economy. So going to the labor of opening up a large hectare of acreage of land with a lot of labor and all the rest is no longer the in thing.
Another unique feature of this tomato species, apart from its large size, is that it has an extended shelf life of 21 days and it is capable of producing tomato paste more than the commonly available ones in the market.
The nutritional value is excellent. You have a lot of lycopene, you have micronutrients.
For now, the new variety is sold within the university community, while plans are underway to seek support for its mass production to attract both local and export markets.
We are going to engage the personnel, the lecturers and researchers in the food science and technology department to help us with the way to go about the pasting, so that will attract more funds even to the university and to the farmers.
The breeders also expressed the possibility of improving the nation's local varieties under the greenhouse treatment to have same characteristics contained in the new variety. In Akure, Doris Olumuko, NTA News.
In another development, the federal government is reviewing the national policy on climate change and advancing policies and initiatives aimed at addressing it. The Minister of Environment, Mohammed Mahmoud Abubakar, enumerated the plans at the Southwest Regional Sensitization Workshop on Climate Change held in Lagos. Jennifer Igwe reports.
Increasing Nigeria's forest cover, deploying smart renewable energy solutions, checking desertification, land degradation, erosion, flooding, ocean surge, gender mainstreaming, and youth involvement in climate governance are some of the areas the federal government is advancing policies and initiatives to address challenges associated with climate change. It is also reviewing the national policy on climate change and its national adaptation plans. And to ensure all geopolitical zones are carried along, this Southwest Regional Workshop on Climate Change is inevitable.
It is to educate people to contribute in their own way, state government, NGOs, civil society organizations, including faith-based organizations. They have constituency, they have people that they can educate, that they can tell to participate, to be part of the climate action, to be part of the solution.
One of the first things is to make sure that people understand what this climate change is all about. You can only manage something that you understand. If you don't understand it, you cannot manage it well.
Now, a similar meeting like this was held in 2019. This particular one is more like a follow-up. It is for members to review and share progress made so far and the mechanisms for checking the impacts of climate change. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
Thank you, Jennifer, for that. And now, in our next segment, it is not enough to innovate. You have to protect your work. Otherwise, it may end in tears. Find out more shortly.
Soon in March 2020 in the capital city Abuja, the Ivory 8 Ball, a life-saving fundraising event featuring music and arts in aid of skin cancer patients with albinism. For participation and sponsorship, please call Edidio, Chinwe. This event is supported by the Nigerian Television Authority, NTA TV Enterprises, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, FRCN, and the Albino Foundation. The Ivory 8 Ball for a worthy cause. Watch out.
I'm Deputy Comptroller of Customs Joseph Atta, the spokesman for the joint security exercise. Over a period of time, either through indifference or deliberate non-compliance to the ECOWAS protocol on transit of goods by our neighbors, the Nigerian Customs Service have been raising this issue. MOUs were signed severally. They were broken as soon as they were signed. We've seized over 32,050 kg bags of rice, and that is a huge impact. And then the fact that the coming in of this foreign rice have been completely shut down. We've gone around, we've received testimonies of farmers who, before now, found it difficult to sell one truck on a market day. These people say it now that those who could not sell one can now sell up to 20 trucks.
Channel where you watch just now don't waka. No panic.
Can say me no panic.
You go do it by yourself like ABC. Oh yeah, press the menu button on top your remote. Scroll up and down till you see Information Central. Then press OK.
Press OK.
Check the signal strength and quality. If the signal strength and quality pass 70, make you press the exit button, go back. Go advanced options, then choose installation, then go to reset and press OK.
Yeah, press OK.
Wow, now you self fit catch all those channels wey be one miss road by yourself. Yes, make your group for no loss. You see as I do am, abi?
And I see as I do am.
Go TV, live it, love it.
And I see as we do am.
Thanks for staying. For Nigeria to experience rapid economic and political development, there is need for adoption and adaptation of modern technologies, especially in the public service. Corps Marshal and Chief Executive of the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSC, Dr. Bobo Oyeyemi, advocated this at the second quarterly public lecture for top public servants in Ekiti State, where the state governor, Dr. Kayode Fayemi, reiterated need for quality service delivery. Nkola Adebubui reports.
The lecture titled Performance Evaluation Imperative in the Public Service, the FRSC experience was an initiative of the state government to to expand the horizon of the workforce for effective and efficient service delivery. The FRSD boss, who highlighted achievements recorded being Nigeria's lead agency in road traffic administration and safety management, attributed such to performances in capacity building and expressed belief that if every sector could key into performance management system in line with the global framework plan of action of legislation, education, enforcement and technology, there will be meaningful effectiveness and efficiency of public servants to achieve set goal of government organization.
There must be a connect between the executive and the main executive and the main civil service to ensure the implementation of the government policy. Some may not be favorable, but must be implemented. And at the end of the tunnel, there's light. It underlines and explains the unwavering commitment of our government to vigorous and systemic reforms of not only public service structure.
Stakeholders will reveal that collaboration between the Federal Road Safety Corps, FRSA, and government will go a long way in achieving the needed knowledge to drive government's policies and programs for productivity in Ado-Ekiti. Kola Adebabuyi, NT News.
And again, the Federal Road Safety Corps has issued a strong warning to fleet operators who tamper with the calibrated speed limiting devices in their vehicles for economic benefits or otherwise to desist from such act or risk impoundment of their vehicles and subsequent compulsory reinstallation and calibrations of such speed limits. A statement by Corps Public Education Officer Bisi Kazim says the Corps Marshal Boboe Oyeyemi has issued an express directive to the zonal commanding officers, the sector commanders and unit commanders across the country to impound any vehicle caught in the act, prosecute the driver and force reinstallation and calibration of speed limiting device. The Corps Marshal also stated that the policy came about as a result of the urgent need to put an end to the rise in speed-related road traffic crashes and the attendant loss of lives and damage to properties. In the meantime, the local government administration may not have been seen as an ICT-compliant level of governance in the country, but the system is now challenging itself to return the operations of the third tier to ICT-based knowledge. Abubakar Usman Akwanga reports that a collaborative effort towards this is gradually empowering personnel of the local governments to change the narrative.
The last thing that will come to the minds of most Nigerians about local government system when you hear about ICT application may probably not be